The Defence of Duffer's Drift by Captain E. D. Swinton, D.S.O., R.E. Narrated by John Lee. This unabridged audiobook was produced in the year 2011 by Tantor Media, Incorporated, which holds the copyright thereto. Prologue. Upon an evening after a long and tiring trek, I arrived at Dorp. The local atmosphere, combined with a heavy meal, are responsible for the following nightmare, consisting of a series of dreams. To make the sequence of the whole intelligible, it is necessary to explain that, though the scene of each vision was the same, yet by some curious mental process I had no recollection of the place whatsoever. In each dream the locality was totally new to me, and I had an entirely fresh detachment. Thus I had not the great advantage of working over familiar ground. One thing, and one only, was carried on from dream to dream, and that was the vivid recollection of the general lessons previously learnt. These finally produced success. The whole series of dreams, however, remained in my memory as a connected whole when I awoke. First dream. Any fool can get into a hole. Old Chinese proverb. If left to you, for defence make spades. Bridge maxim. I felt lonely and not a little sad as I stood on the bank of the river near Duffer's Drift and watched the red dust haze, raised by the southward departing column in the distance, turn slowly into gold as it hung in the afternoon sunlight. It was just 3 o'clock, and here I was on the banks of the Siljasvogel River, left behind by my column with a party of 50 NCOs and men to hold the drift. It was an important ford, because it was the only one across which wheeled traffic could pass for some miles up or down the river. The river was a sluggish stream, not now in flood, crawling along at the very bottom of its bed between steep banks, which were almost vertical, or at any rate too steep for wagons everywhere except at the drift itself. The banks from the river edge to their tops and some distance outwards were covered with dense thorn and other bushes, which formed a screen impenetrable to the sight. They were also broken by small ravines and holes, where the earth had been eaten away by the river when in flood, and were consequently very rough. Some 2,000-odd yards north of the drift was a flat-topped rocky mountain, and about a mile to the northeast appeared the usual Sugarloaf kopje, covered with bushes and boulders, steep on the south but gently falling to the north. This had a farm on the near side of it. About 1,000 yards south of the drift was a convex.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?